Hello and welcome to another AGK tutorial. This one was requested by a forum member, so I thought I'd do it. Basically, it's my little Deathchase example that I've got on my YouTube intro page. Fairly simple really, it's all smoke and mirrors. Nothing super duper in there, but people want to see it, so let's tell you how to do it. Right, obviously at the start I'm just messing around, setting the resolution. I've got those remmed out there because they're for different things. The clear colour I'm doing so it matches the sky a bit better, else it'd be black. Print colour I'm setting just because I don't want white text, so I've made that black as well. Obviously default mag and min filter, that basically stops it glitching in places, although I'm not convinced I need it in this, and to be honest, generate bitmaps, that isn't really needed either. Let me just run that without those. Yeah, so yeah, it smooths it a bit more, and to be honest, it's fine. But you can try them. You can have them in if you want. Generate bitmaps. Can you tell the difference while looking at it like this? Not really. I mean, technically it's a good idea to use bitmaps because it tends to make it less glitchy, just to put it simply. But like I said, I'm not 100% certain whether this is working very well yet. It certainly doesn't seem to work as well as when you actually made DDS textures yourself. But I don't think you can do that in AGK because it won't accept those, it only accepts PNGs. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Right, so first of all I'm making a floor. It's a little double do loop, so I can make a little grid 3x3, making planes for the floor, positioning them, rotating them so that they're floor down floor rather than facing you like the trees will be, and I'm positioning them according to the grid, and I'm making sure that they're the same positions as the size, so it'll position it right. Same with the sky, exactly the same. And then I'm positioning the camera, setting the camera rotation so it doesn't look somewhere strange, and then making one tree in here, and then out of that tree I'm making lots of trees. You'll see I'm doing it from 100 to tree max. That's simply because I've got all these other objects I'm loading up, so I'm making sure that even if I decided to add up a fair few more objects, I'm not going to interfere with this and I ain't got to change it. So that's the only reason why I've started it from 100 rather than from 0. 0 wouldn't work obviously because I've got all these already made. And I'm cloning that tree in there and positioning them at a random position, which I'm working out here. 0,200 is basically the random position across the screen, and then I'm just sticking them all there. Oh no, yeah, rand start is across the screen, and then I'm just 5 is the height because we're dealing with 3D here, and random is just a random, so it's got a bit of a belt of trees, and then I'm hiding the main tree. Speed tree max is the amount of trees. I can increase that. Obviously that's just a nice easy variable, so you can whop the trees up. If I just put 850, although it's probably not going to like it because I'm capturing, let's quickly run it with 850, and we've got more trees. Ooh. Yeah, that's quite busy, but it makes it useful later on. But I'll drop it back down for 450 for now. That's Really simple stuff. I don't think there's much more need to explain there. I'm making the bike. Again, it's a plane. I've used a plane simply so I can get better collision. If I'd used a sprite and fixed it to the screen, it wouldn't really have worked with my collision routine, so I've used the plane and just positioned it right in front of the camera, and then I'll keep repositioning it right in front of the camera as it moves, and that works fine. That's an array I've made there. Basically that's, I can't quite remember what is that for now. Distance. It'll be something to do with the distance in the loop, I think. We'll get to that later as I get down here. But that's not really needed, but it was just for the little start line thing with my little retro bloke logo that I added in. Again, it's pretty much the same as making a tree. Right, now the main loop. Here it says reset controls. That's simply so that, you know, when you're going left and right, it doesn't keep going left and right, and it instantly stops. That's all that's doing. It resets the direction and the X, which is again the direction. Left, right, pretty simple. I'm just changing direction to equal 1 or 2, and I'm changing the bike's image to look like it's turning left or right. Straight obviously is pretty much the same. It's just that's when I'm not pressing left or right, it'll make it go straight. Accelerate, obviously I'm increasing the speed hash variable here, or decreasing it rather, and then that checks to see, you know, gives a max speed. So basically if it goes less than -2, it'll make it -2, and it'll never go faster than -2. And the same with brake. Basically it's going the other way, and if it's greater than 0 then it makes it to 0, because we don't want to reverse gear in Deathchase. And this is how it moves the left and right. You can see it's a little bit more complicated than normal, but not a lot. So if you're pressing left, which is up there with direction 1, and the speed is basically less than 0, it's a bit confusing, but it's because I'm going into the screen. I've got to make it a minus number. So if it's less than 0, then it'll let you move left and right, and basically the faster you're going, the more you'll move. That's what this times speed times 1.5 business is. I just played around with that a bit. Again, you could play with it yourself if you wanted to increase that speed slightly or decrease it, but as you get faster you can move more. As you slow down, you turn in circle as such. Not that it's a turning circle in this game, it will reduce. So that's what that's for. Exit, pretty simple, exiting. This is where, this is the bit most people are going to be interested in. Position the trees. So I'm going through a loop again, same as the one I did to create them, and basically I'm checking if the tree has gone behind you, which is less than 0, it then repositions the tree in front at a random position. You know, not too random, because you don't want it to pop up right in front of you, but semi-random. I mean, you could just, you know, you could increase that a little bit really, but not massively. That's basically all it's doing. It's going below 0, and then it'll go, oh, it's below 0, I'm going to pop this tree straight into the distance, and it increases the score just because that's used to happen in the game. And this is the left and right. So basically if the tree is less than -200, it's going to push it all the way to the right, +400. And the same there, if it's greater than 200 on the right, it's going to push it -400 on the left. And that's pretty much it. Like I say, smoke and mirrors, in this game you're not moving. You're not actually, the camera is not moving a jot. The only things that are moving are the floor and the trees. That's how space area, well, sort of, it was 2D, so it had to work like that. But that's basically how, you can get this sort of effect quite easily, and it gives you an infinite forest. You can go left for as long as you want, right for as long as you want, forward for as long as you want. The only thing you can't do is reverse. But you could put some extra code in, so you could reverse if you wanted, but it's not really anything that I wanted in this, as I'm doing a Deathchase clone from the Spectrum. So that's pretty simple, really. It works very similarly, like I say, to the parallax scrolling tutorial I did. Collision, I'm using a bit of maths collision here. I'm sure you'll have seen this before, but basically you don't have to have to the pair of two here. You could just go distance x hash times distance x hash, and distance z hash times distance z hash. I'm not going to go into great depth there. I'm not good at maths. This is just something I use. I've used it since the days of DB. It's good. It tends to be a lot faster than using automatic collision, especially in DB. I'm not so certain in AGK though. But as there isn't any sort of collision in 3D with AGK, I've used this. So basically, if the distance that it's worked out in this bit here is less than 0.5 or greater than minus 0.5, then it hits. It sets the flag to hit, sets the speed to 0, takes your lives down, and moves the tree so that it's not in front of you anymore. Don't have to do that, but if you're going to just make it so it hits, it's a bit awkward to restart if there's a tree straight in front of you. So that's why I did that. That's positioning the banner. That's resetting it. So basically, if it's hit, it resets, so that basically you can start again later on, else you wouldn't be able to move after it's hit once. The floor, pretty much the same as the trees. It's doing exactly the same. If it goes below minus 150, it pushes it to plus 600, and then if it goes to the left minus 400, it pushes it across plus 600, and if it's greater than 400 on the right, it pushes it left to minus 600. Fairly simple. And the reason why all these numbers are like that is simply down to the size of the actual planes, and obviously the fact that there's 3 of them by 3 by 3 in a grid. But it works. Sky, exactly the same. Exactly the same. It just basically fakes the 3D effect by just replacing the things in front as they go scroll behind you. And that's pretty much it. Obviously there's a display there, but that's nothing major. So hopefully this will have helped you. I may have skipped over it too quickly, I'm not too sure. But no, I think most people should be able to get it from that. So until next time, I'll catch you later.